Hello everyone, Reza here. In this video, we will learn about the new AI approvals feature for agent flows. We can create multi-staged approval workflows where we can build these AI stages, automated decision making based upon our inputs in the form of instructions that can include dynamic text and documents. We can frame complex approval processes. AI will be our first gate in the demo that I will showcase, and then we will have human approvals. Let's check this video out in action. I have a Power App where users can submit claims for reimbursement. My organization has a process for approving or rejecting claims. The claims should be approved if the claim amount is less than 500, the claim details entered directly supports physical or mental health, and the purchase date should be within the last 30 days. If any of these criteria are not met, the claim should be rejected. How about we build an approval process wherein we can create an AI stage where we will give instructions to AI and the approval decision will be based upon the instructions that we provide. So let's see how we can do this. In Microsoft Copilot Studio, we can create agent flows. For my claims reimbursement approval process, I'll create a new agent flow. The trigger of the flow will be from Microsoft Dataverse. When a row is added, change type, I'll trigger this when a row is added in my table. My table is called claims. Run this under the scope organization. I'll rename the trigger to when a claim is submitted. Next, I will insert my approval process. With agent flows, we have the advanced approval processes that are categorized under human in the loop. Here is the option to run a multi-staged approval process. We can set up our approval. Within the approval, we can create our stages and we can add conditions to route approvals to the right stakeholders. When we click create, we have two options here. Manual stage, that goes to a human for approval. AI stage, you can give instructions to AI and AI will read your instructions and accordingly take the decision. Let's create an AI stage. This stage, I will rename as eval claim. I want to evaluate the claim. And right in the center is where I can write my instructions. The approval decision will be based upon the prompt, the instructions that we provide, and the decision can have one of these two outcomes, approved or rejected. So let's give it some instructions. You are responsible for reviewing employee reimbursement claims and assigning a claim status of approved or rejected. Approve the claim if all of the following are true. First, my claim amount should be less than $500. The claim amount I will pass dynamically from my agent flow to this approval action. To do that, I can add content. We have different types of content inputs that we can provide. For my scenario, I'll pick text. I'll call this claim amount. I like to follow a naming standard here, so it becomes easy for me to know what the data types were. str meaning string, claim amount. We can also provide some sample data. As we frame our instructions, we can test the results right here in this window itself. For now, I'll put a claim amount of 300 as my sample data and close. So my first condition, claim amount should be less than $500. Next, the claim information, in brackets, I'll put the details that the user enters about the claim. For that, I can go and add content again. I'll pick text, sample data, I'll say fitness yoga mat, close. The claim information should directly support physical or mental health. And lastly, the purchase date. Once again, I'll enter text, sample data, I'll say August 22nd, is within the last 30 days. Relative to, here I would want to pass the claim created date. Once again, add content text. I'll say claim created date. I've entered the date 29th of August. So these are my instructions for the claim to be approved. Next, I will say reject the claim if any of the above are false. Done. I have given some sample data. My claim amount 300 is less than 500, so this condition matches. My claim information, sample data, is fitness yoga mat. That directly supports physical or mental health. And the purchase date, which is August 22nd, is within the last 30 days relative to when the claim was created, which is 29th of August. Let's test. The AI stage uses the power of Gen AI and our provided instructions and takes the approval decision. It's approved because all of my conditions are met. Now let's change the claim created date. Let's say this claim was created on May 29th, so it's not within the 30-day timeline. Notice it says the claim has been rejected because the purchase date is not within the last 30 days. I'll set the claim date back. Let's change the claim amount. 600. Test. This time it should reject because the claim amount exceeds the threshold. Change this back to 400. Test. All the conditions meet. It's approved. One last test. I'll ask for an iPad. Let's try and claim that. It doesn't support physical or mental health. The outcome is rejected. So you can see how we can achieve such a powerful process by leveraging an AI stage within an agent flow. The outcome is going to be either approved or rejected. So the next step, based on the decision, if approved, it will end this approval process as approved, and if rejected, it will end it as rejected. Let's save this. We'll apply it to this multi-stage approval action in my flow. And here, it's asking for the details, the claim amount. I can give it from dynamic content. I'll pick amount. Claim information will be the claim title. Purchase date will be the purchase date. Created date would be the created on date of the record. Done. This action I'll rename to run claims approval. And right after this, I will add a condition. A condition to check the final outcome from the run claims approval action. If that is equal to approve, this is case sensitive, then in the true branch, I'll add an action to update a row in Microsoft Dataverse. The row in my claims table, the row ID will come from the unique identifier claim from my trigger action. I'll go to show all. I would like to change the status of the claim. Claim status, I will change to approved. This action, I'll rename to update claim status to approved. Right click, copy this action. In the false branch, right click, paste the same action. I'll rename this one to rejected, and the claim status in the false branch would be rejected. The condition I'll rename to is claim approved. Done. In the true and false branch, I can also add actions to send an email to the claim submitter that their claim has been approved or rejected. This is an agent flow. It supports versioning out of the box. My flow is ready, so I'll go ahead and click publish. The agent flow is published. The name of the flow is untitled. Let's go to the overview tab, edit the details, and rename this flow to claims approval workflow. AI has already given a very neat description based on the schema of my flow. I'll click save. Let's test the flow out. I'll create a new claim. Claim title. I bought a yoga mat. I purchased this on the 27th of August. Amount $100. Save and close. Here is my latest claim. Claim amount less than 500. The claim information directly supports physical or mental health, and the purchase date was within the last 30 days. The status is submitted. Once the agent flow triggers, let's explore the activity. The flow triggered when the claim was submitted. It ran the approval. The AI stage approved it based on our instructions. All the criteria are met. So it's gone and updated the status of the claim to approved. Let's refresh. Here we go. The claim is approved. Let's try another one. I bought sunglasses for $250. I'll save. The amount is within 500. True. The purchase date is within the last 30 days. True. But the item that I'm claiming does not directly support physical or mental health. So if I refresh this, observe it's been rejected. Back to our flow. Let's edit this. Our approval process. Let's edit. There is only one stage, which is the AI stage. When AI approves it, I want to add additional approvals, human approvals. For those, I can add a manual stage. The stage I will add here is manager approval. If AI says, yes, this claim is valid, only then route it to the user's manager for approval. The approval type, I'll pick approve reject first to respond. The title of the claim, I'll say claim approval request from. I can put a slash here. These are all those existing inputs that I created in the AI stage. I can use them here. In this case, I need the name of the user who submitted the claim for approval. So I'll add a string, str claim submitter, assign to. I'll go to settings and use dynamic content. I want to pass the manager of the user who submitted the claim dynamically to this approval action. Once again, slash string str manager email. I'll add it as an input. The details slash string str approval details. That completes my manager approval action. I'll go back to my first stage, which was the AI stage. Based upon the approval decision, the next step currently is, if approved, end the approval process as approved. But now I do not want to end it. If the decision by the AI stage is approved, Then you go to step number 2, which is manager approval. If rejected, then you end this process as rejected. So it will not go to the manager unless all of these criteria are checked and confirmed. And right after the manager approval, let's add another manual stage, but this one based on a condition. If the claim amount is greater than $150, I want an additional approval to take place. So I can add a condition. I can pick any of those inputs. Here I want to check the claim amount. This one is the string. I'll create another one, number, NUM claim amount, add, is greater than or equal to 150. Now before setting what happens, right after this condition, let's go and add another manual stage. This would be the admin approval. Now let's get back to our condition. If the claim amount is greater than or equal to 150, I need admin approval. So I'll say go to admin approval. And if the claim amount is less than 150, then you end this approval process as approved. Done. Let's quickly configure the admin approval. First to respond, assign to. In this case, I'm going to hardcode who the admin is, Reza. Done. I'll click save. Now my approval process has been updated. My run claims approval action requires additional details. Now I need the name of the claims submitter. To get that, right after the trigger action, for Dataverse, we have get a row by ID. I will query the users table. Row ID will be the created by value. This will have the ID of the user who submitted the claim. This action I'll call as get claim submitter user info. Next, I need to get their manager. So from the Office 365 users connector, I'll use the get manager action. The UPN, I will pick the primary email from the get claim submitted user info action that I added. The get manager action, I'll rename to get claim submitters manager. Now I have all the details I need. So let's get back to the run claims approval action. The claim submitter. Here I'll put the full name of the user who submitted the claim. Manager email. This would be the dynamic content mail coming from the get claim submitters manager action. The approval details. Here I'll pass 3 pieces of information. The title of the claim coming from the trigger. The amount. Purchase date as well coming from the trigger action. The number claim amount input. This will be the amount coming from the trigger action. Done. Publish. My agent flow is published and ready to go. Let's try it out. Gym membership. I purchased it on the 20th of August. Amount $300. Save and close. Let's add another one. Running shoes, $100. And car tires, $350. Submit. Here are the 3 things I submitted. The first stage to run on the approval will be the AI stage. Let's refresh. Notice car tires was rejected. Car tires has nothing to do with physical or mental health. Running shoes and gym memberships, both of them qualify based on the criteria that we've defined. They are approved by the AI stage, and now both these requests will go to my manager for approval. My manager is Sarah. Sarah receives two approval requests. The gym membership for $300. Now, if Sarah rejects, the outcome will be rejected. But if Sarah approves, because the amount is 300 and greater than 150, there would be one more approval needed for this one, for the admin approval. The second request for Sarah, running shoes, this one, if Sarah approves, it's $100. Once Sarah submits, the approval process should end because the amount is less than 150. Notice running shoes has been approved, but gym membership, the status, is still submitted because there is one more layer of approval needed, and that would be the admin approval, which in this case is Reza. Here is the admin approval task that Reza receives. Now, based on Reza's decision, the outcome will be final. If I approve, the status will become approved. If I reject, the status will end up being rejected. Gym membership rejected. Now let's take all of this one level higher. When a user creates an expense, there's also the option for them to attach a receipt. AI should validate the receipt and confirm that the details that they are entering match the receipt. Back to the flow, let's edit our approval process. My approve criteria, I'll add a fourth option. The claim amount, I'll put a slash and pick the existing input for the claim amount. Claim information and purchase date must exactly match the details in the supporting document. Let's add an input of type image or document. I can upload a sample image here only for testing. Here is a sample receipt that I'm uploading. Fitness mat, $300, August 22nd. I have uploaded that receipt. Let's test. My claim amount is valid. My claim information is valid. My purchase date is valid. But still, the AI stage said rejected because it's not as per the details in that document. My receipt shows fitness mat for $300. Let's change the claim amount. Let's make it 300. I'll call it a fitness mat. Now let's test. Now it's approved. My amount, the item, the date, they all match. Let's save this. Now I have to pass the document input as well. Where do I get this from? Right before the approval action, I'll use the download a file or image action in Dataverse. Table, my claims table, row ID, the unique identifier claim coming from the trigger. Which column? I only have one file column here of receipt. I'll select it. When I'm running the claim, I need to pass the document input. Dynamic content, I can pick file or image content. Here, you have to make a minor change. Control A, Control C to copy. Delete this. Go to expression and paste it. Start from body. Remove the last curly braces. Question mark, dollar, content. This requires the actual content of the file. I'll click add. Now when a new claim is submitted, notice the user can't upload a receipt until the record is first saved. I would have to run my agent flow when a receipt has been uploaded. What I can do is the trigger, I will say run this when an item is modified, and this should run when the receipt column changes. Let's go to the claims table. Here is my claims table. I'll go to columns. I need the exact logical name of my receipt column. Ellipses, advanced, tools, copy, logical name. In select columns, I'll paste the exact logical name of my receipt column. I'll publish my agent flow. Let's add a new claim. Fitness mat. Purchase date 22nd. Amount 305. I'll save this. My flow will not run until I upload a receipt. I'll go and upload that receipt. Notice the purchase date matches. The claims title is very similar. However, the amount is not correct. Once the flow triggers, the status is rejected because the details are not matching the receipt. And if they match, the approval process will continue. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching.